boyfriend for the past 8 months, and as far as Georgina and I were concerned, he was not a suitable match for our daughter. In fact, he was totally unsuitable. Not only was he 8 years older than Amanda, but he had also been convicted for joyriding in a stolen car the previous summer in the nearby town of Didcot. And we were also extremely worried about the way he tried to control our daughter's life. He demanded that she tell him where she was at any given time, and became angry if she didn't, or if she went out anywhere without him. He even stipulated what she could wear, and he had done his best to cut her off from all her other friends, especially the male ones. She had planned to go travelling during her gap year between school and university, but Darren had put paid to that too, telling her she would be better off getting a job and staying here. So, instead of backpacking around Australia with a girlfriend for 3 months at the beginning of the year, she'd spent the time working as a checkout girl in the local Tesco supermarket, something she still did. Darren says I should have had a party last year for my 18th birthday, not this year for my 19th. I didn't actually care one iota what Darren said, but decided not to say so. I wasn't in the mood for another argument with her, not here, not today. "If you remember," I said calmly, keeping a tight hold of my temper, "we all decided that it wasn't sensible to have an 18th birthday party right in the middle of your A-levels, and that we would do it this year instead as a joint celebration. Darren says it's just because you want to do it on the cheap. Darren doesn't know what he's talking about. Now, please be helpful to your mother today. She has lots to do to get ready for this evening." Amanda finally looked up from her phone. "Where are you going all dressed up?" I was wearing morning dress and carrying a top hat. "To the Derby. Potassium is running. Will he win?" "I hope so. God, I hope so." I went through into my office and picked up the place cards from my desk, 140 of them in 4 stacks, one for each of the 4 long tables set up in the marquee. Amanda and James had a table each for their friends, while Georgina and I had one apiece for ours. I carried the cards back through to the kitchen, where Amanda was still sitting at the table. "Remember what I said about helping your mother?" I said to her. She looked up at me and didn't answer. "Please," I said imploringly. "Mum's not very happy about me being out all day at the races, and you know how stressed she can get." "Okay," Amanda said reluctantly. "Right, I must get going or I'll be late." I went back into the hallway and put the place cards on the hall table. "The cards are all in the right order," I called out to Georgina. "I'll see you later." "What time is the race?" she asked, coming back onto the landing from our bedroom. 3:20. She drew her breath in through clenched teeth. "Well, that's cutting it a bit fine." "We're actually lucky," I said. "It's usually run at 4:30, but it's been brought forward so as not to clash with the football at Wembley." "Well, don't be late. Leave as soon as the derby is over." "I can't just leave if Potassium wins." Georgina waved a dismissive hand, which I took to mean she rather hoped he wouldn't win. "It would pay for the party," I said. And some, I thought. The Epsom Derby might not be the most valuable horse race in Europe, but the purse was still £1.5 million, with £850,650 of that going to the winning connections. To say nothing of the future value of the horse as the Derby winner. Potential stud fees could easily run into the tens of millions. The way things had been going in recent months, with increased inflation, higher wage costs, and people being more careful about buying racehorses, my personal finances and those of the Syndicate company could really do with the boost. A year ago, when we'd planned the party and booked the marquee plus the caterers, my business had been buoyant. No expense had been spared. Now I was worried that we couldn't afford it. Too late to think of that now.